We're back at the Montreal Comedy Festival. It's Alex Belfield talking to the big stars, and new stars as well, and Daniel Rigby's one of them. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
It's nice to talk to you, and I've seen you on the internet, and I've heard you talked about, and then you get invited to a comedy festival like Montreal, which is huge, which must mean you're a big star.
Well, I don't think it quite means that quite yet. Oh God, awkward. But no, it's a privilege, a great honour to be asked to come here and do something like this, especially if you're a little fish in a very big pond, as I definitely am. So yeah, it's an honour and absolutely terrifying at the same time.
Again, there's a lot of people who've been doing it a long while. I mean, you've just swapped chairs with Jeannie Yashere, who's got incredible confidence. Yeah. Can you fake that even at your age and level, where you can come on stage? Because really, nobody wants to see somebody learning, do they?
No, that's right. I think it's absolutely... You have to grab it by the horns, definitely every time you get on stage. So even if you are inside sort of incredibly nervous and want to run away and get on a plane back to England, you have to look like you belong there, and you're going to make people laugh, because nobody wants to see somebody nervy.
I mean, looking at you on YouTube, and it's an interesting act. How would you describe it for those who haven't seen you?
Well, it's kind of it's surreal observations and set pieces, so little ideas and philosophies taken down different avenues, and with little bits of improvisation in the middle of it.
When was the first time you realised that you might have a funny bone, or show business might be for you?
I've been a compulsive show-off from the age of about 10 years old. So I think from being very young, I've always wanted to be showing off, and this is the perfect environment in which to do that.
Who were the people who you looked at and you thought, I wish I could be like them?
My holy triumvirate of comedians was Eddie Izzard, Chris Morris and Peter Cook. Eddie Izzard for the stand-up, and Chris Morris for his... for the work that he produces and his uncompromising attitude, and Peter Cook just for his invention.
And how do you go from being the guy who's funny in his bedroom and funny at the pub with his mates to then being invited to a festival like this? Because it's a big leap, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I suppose it's just about... It took me ages to grow the courage to get up and do stand-up. It is a leap, but it's just about whether the compulsion is strong enough, whether the drive is strong enough to make the leap from... Because it is difficult. There are times when people are just going to stare at you blankly, and that's what you have to go through to get better at it. So it is a big leap from being drunk in the pub with your mates and doing impressions of your friends to standing and doing some material about what you think about the government. But it's just about whether the drive is strong enough, I think.
Is there any lonelier feeling than being in a club and doing your great punchline that you've spent so long crafting and getting nothing?
There is no worse feeling in the world, and I've been mugged. There is nothing.
You've been mugged?
I've been mugged, yeah. I've been mugged more than once, and I would prefer that on any night of the week than standing in front. But I mean, it is worth it. It's an awful, truly horrific feeling just standing there and knowing that it's going to be a long set.
What do you do in those moments? Do you have a Bob Monkhouse gag from 1992 as a zinger that you can come back with to recover at least something for the show?
No, I don't really. I don't have a Bob Monkhouse zinger, unfortunately. I should cultivate one probably, but I think I just kind of try and roll with it as it happens, and sometimes it pays off to kind of mention it to the audience, only once I think, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you just have to try and dig yourself out of the hole, and sometimes it's just not going to work, and that's fine as well. Do
you ever consider going that way, the Chubby Brown route, the Bobby Slayton route?
No, I don't. No, I don't at all, because that's not my taste, and I don't think that's in the... I mean, for me, it's not my personally what I prize in comedy. But there is definitely a market for people who do that kind of shock humour. But for me, I just like doing it for the giggles, really. Just for it's fun, and it's about being interesting, about your viewpoint, not about trying to get a rise out of people necessarily.
I'm too much of a coward as well. I couldn't sleep at night thinking of the people I've offended who could come and beat me up on the street.
Oh no, it's awful. It's awful. I've got too much of a conscience for this business, because last year in Edinburgh I did a gig, and a woman got up. We were doing it in a very, very hot venue, and a woman got up during my set, and I started talking about her to the audience because it was a small venue. It was very obvious that she was getting up, And I berated her for the duration that she got to the end of her line, and then she just keeled over and fell flat on her face on the floor because she was trying to get out of it for the heat, and she fainted. And it was, needless to say, that was very, very awkward, and I had a little guilt baby growing inside me for many, many nights afterwards, keeping me awake. Yeah, too much of a conscience.
Congratulations on being you. We're going to hear a lot more about you. Give your website so people can find out about you.
At the moment, it's myspace.com/drigby.
You can't afford DanielRigby.com.
I can't afford DanielRigby.com yet.
Daniel, congratulations on being you. Good luck at the festival and enjoy your room service and all that. Is it glamorous being here?
Yes, it is very glamorous. It's much nicer than my house here because nobody brings me sandwiches to my room in my house, unfortunately, no matter how much I scream.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you very much. Thanks.